समुदच्यते। पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
पीठे तटे भीमरथ्यां वरं पुण्डरीकाय दातुं मुनीन्द्रैः समागत्य तिष्ठन्तम् आनन्दकन्दं परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम्। तडिद्वाससं नीलमेघावभासं रमामन्दिरं सुन्दरं चित्प्रकाशं वरं दुष्टकायां समं न्यस्तपादं परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम्। प्रमाणं भवाब्धेरिदं मामकानां नितम्बः कराभ्यां धृतो येन तस्मात् विधातुर्वसत्यै धृतो नाभिकोशो परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम्। कौस्तुभालङ्कृतं कण्ठदेशे श्रियाजुष्टकेयूरकं श्रीनिवासं शिवं शान्तमीड्यं वरं लोकपालं परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम्। शरच्चन्द्रबिम्बाननं चारुहासं लसत्कुण्डलक्रान्तगण्डस्थलाङ्गं जपारागबिम्बाधरं कञ्जनेत्रं परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम्। सर्वदिक्प्रान्तभागं सुरैरर्चितं दिव्यरत्नैरनर्घ्यै त्रिभङ्गाकृतिं बर्हमाल्यावतंसं परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम्। चरन्तं दुरन्तं स्वयं लीलया गोपवेशं दधानं गवां वृन्दकानन्दनं चारुहासं परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम्। अजं रुक्मिणी प्राणसञ्जीवनं तं परं धाम कैवल्यमेकं तुरीयं देवं प्रसन्नं प्रसन्नार्तिहं देवदेवं परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् स्तवं पाण्डुरङ्गस्य वै पुण्यदं ये पठन्त्येकचित्तेन भक्त्या च नित्यं भवाम्भोनिधिं तेऽपि तीत्वान्तकाले हरेरालयं शाश्वतं प्राप्नुवन्ति हरेरालयं शाश्वतं प्राप्नुवन्ति
Om Shri Sai Ram. We thank the backend team for such a beautiful start with the Namavalis and the Ashtagams. Without taking much more time, we hand over the session to Brother Ram Kumar, that is Shri Subramanian Chidambaram. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram to all, Namaskaram. Just give me 1 minute as I'm loading the presentation. You're able to see the presentation?
Yes.
Ajnanantargahanapatitan atmavidyopadeshaihi pratum lokan bhavadavashikha tapapapachyamanan muktva maunam vadavitapinoho mulato rishpatanti shambhor murtischarati bhuvane shankaracharya rupam shruti smriti purananam alayam karunalayam namami bhagavatpada shankaram lokashankaram सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत् आचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Namaskaram to all. Welcome to the day 2 of the Pandurangashtakam series. Yesterday we saw the first 3 shlokams of the Ashtakam. Today we start from the 4th one. Spuratrat Spurat kaustubhalangkritam kanthadeshe Shriyajustakeyurakam Srinivasam Shivam Shantamedhyam Varam Lokapalam Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. Now this verse and the next few verses. So the first 3 verses, Acharya has described the greatness of the place. He has described the greatness of the Vigraham of the Lord. He has also described the greatness of Pandhara, of Pandharipura, why he is standing like that. He has described all those aspects. Now the next few shlokas are going to describe the beauty of the form of the Lord as Narayana, as Krishna. So the Acharya also sees the aspect of Krishna or Narayana in Panduranga, and this is what you will see in this shloka and the upcoming few shlokas. So he says, Spurat Kaustubhalankritam Kanthadeshe. Spurat, it is shining. Kaustubha, the Kaustubha Mani is shining. What is Kaustubha? Kaustubha comes from, it is etymologically something that comes from Kustubha, something that comes from the ocean or Samudram is Kaustubha. So Kaustubha comes from Kustubha. Kustubha is another name for the Samudram or the ocean. So that is why it is called Kaustubha Mani, that came from the churning of the ocean during the Samudra Mathanam. So Spurat Kaustubhalankritam. So the moment it came from the Milky Ocean, on the churning, the Mathanam, it was given as an offering to the Lord, Mahavishnu, Narayana. Just like Lakshmi put the Varamalyam on the Lord, similarly the Kaustubhamani was also given as an offering to the Lord. So the Kaustubha Alankritam. So that is one of the mark of Narayana. That is one of the mark of Mahavishnu. The Amsha of Narayana is indicated by the Kaustubha Mani in the neck, in the Kantha Desha. And you can see in the Vigraham of Panduranga, you can see the Kaustubha Mani engraved in the idol, in the Vigraham. Shriya Joshta Keyurakam Srinivasam. Yes, Keyurakam, armlets. Charming armlets he is wearing. And that is called Keyuram. And Srinivasam. Shri herself is residing, as we saw in the previous Rama Mandiram. Same thing is Shri Nivasam, the one in whom Shri is residing. He is the abode of Shri. So that is why he becomes Shri Nivasam. Shriya Jushta Keyurakam Shri Nivasam. That is why when the goddess of wealth herself is with him, where is the need for any further need for any prosperity or any wealth? It just keeps on flowing from the Lord. Shivam Shantamidhyam Varam Lokapalam. Now these are interesting words. Just if you look at the meaning, Shivam. Shivam means auspicious. This is an auspicious form that we are seeing. Shivam. Shantam. Very calm posture. Very calmly standing. Shantam. Idyam. The most worshipable. Varenyam. You have the term Varenyam, isn't it, in the Gayatri Mantra? Similarly, Idyam. Idyam is one who is most worshipable. To be worshipped. Worthy of worship. Idyam. Shivam, Shantam, Idyam. Varam, Lokapalam, the one who is taking care of the entire world. Lokapala. When the Loka gets replaced by the entire, all as beings are called Loka, when we are treated as Pashus or Go. Go is another word for the living beings. So he becomes Gopala. So the Lokapala becomes Gopala. So it's all the same meaning. Varam Lokapalam. Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. So it is very clearly indicating towards the Narayana aspect of Panduranga. Sharat Chandra Bimbananam Charuhasam Lasat Kundala Kranta Gandasthalantam Japaraga Bimbadharam Kanjanetram Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. How is his face? Sharat Chandra Bimbananam. His face is shining, is as bright as Sharat Chandra Bimbananam. So Ananam is the face. His face is like the Sharat, the autumnal moon. In the autumn season, the moon is brighter than ever. It is bigger than ever. So that brightness of the moon, where all the 365 days, only during the autumn time, it becomes the brightest. So his face is always the brightest, just like the Sharat Chandra Bimbam is like the very epitome of that Sharat Chandra. Charuhasam. He has got a very nice, bewitching, Mohanakara smile, a very pleasant smile. Lasat Kundalakranta Gandasthalantam. Kundalam is the earring, the ear ornament. Lasat, it is shining. Lasat Kundala. And what is the imagination? See, it is shining, and as the Lord moves, the ear ornament also keeps moving. When the Lord moves, the ear ornament also moves. And the complexion of the Lord is such, his skin is so soft, his skin is so glowing, that as this keeps moving, because it is made of gold, it is made of the pricest ornaments and pricest gems, so they are all shining. The kundalam is shining, and because of the shine of the kundalam, that shining is getting reflected on his cheeks, because his cheek is so glowing. It is black in color, no doubt, but it is glowing because of the skin quality. So it is a glowing skin, and this kundalam with the gems is shining, and that is getting reflected in the cheeks. Kundara Akranta Gandasthalantam. Gandasthalam is the cheek area. So it is capturing the Gandasthalam. The entire Gandasthalam space is getting reflected in the Gandasthalam. Japaraga Bimbadharam Kanjanetram. His lips, Adharam. Adharam is lips. Madhurashtakam. Adharam Madhuram. You have heard, isn't it? So Adharam is the lips. How are the lips? They are red in color. How do I say how much red they are? What do I compare with? Japaragam. Japaragam is hibiscus. The hibiscus flower, red in color. Bimba, the fruit, bimba, which when ripe, it becomes extremely red in color. So compared to the hibiscus flower and the bimba fruit, that red is his lips. Japaragam is also called as Japa Kusumam. Japa Kusuma Sankasham Kashyapeyam Mahadyutim. This is the stotram dhyana shlokam for the Surya. So Suryam, the sun is red in color. That red color is indicated by Japa Kusuma Sankasham, Japaragam. Kanjanetram. His eyes are like the lotus petals. Kanja. Kanja means lotus. Netram is the eyes. See, the language of Sanskrit is so beautiful. How did Kanja come to be known as the lotus? Kam means water. Kam, the very alphabet Kam means water. Something that is born in Kam. Ja indicates something that is born. So something that is born in Kam is Kanja. Like Ambu is also means water. So Ambuja becomes lotus. Panka means water. So Pankaja means lotus. So the moment you add a ja to all synonyms of water, you get the synonyms for lotus. This is the beauty of the language of Sanskritam. And the moment you add to the synonyms of lotus, you add bhava. You will get the synonyms for Brahma because he is born of lotus. Ambuja bhava, Pankaja bhava, Sarasija bhava, Kanja bhava, Ambuja bhava, and so on. So Japaraga Bimbadharam Kanjanetram Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. Such is the form. So each and every aspect of the form. You see, this is what you call, we said stotra means tuyate, to praise the Lord. And this is called as Keshadi Pada Varnanam, to praise the Lord, to glorify the Lord right from his hair, right from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to the top, to praise every aspect of the deity. This is the form which was more or less established by Acharya, Adi Shankaracharya, in his Stotra literature. Kiritojvalat sarvadik pranta bhagam surairarchitam divyaratnairanarghaihi tribhangakritim barhamalyavatamsam parabrahmalingam bhaje pandurangam. Is kiritam, shining, ujjvalam, sarvadik pranta bhagam, it is spreading its shine everywhere. It is shining and spreading the luster everywhere. Surair Architam, he is worshipped by the Suras, by the Devas, the celestials. By what? Divyaratnaihi, they are worshipping, they are Devas, no? We will worship with flowers, Devas will worship with gems itself. Divyaratnaihi, but celestial gems, with auspicious gems. Anarghaihi, very rare of the gems, they are worshipping him. Tribhanga kritim barhamalyavatamsam. This is a beautiful line. Tribhangam, Tribhanga kritim. See, when somebody stands straight, like Panduranga is standing, he's standing straight. Okay, so there is no bhangam. Bhangam means a twist, a turn, a curve. There is no curve. He is standing straight. So there is no dvibhangam, there is no tribhangam. The moment you slightly twist the hip in the waist region, if you slightly twist, it is called dvibhanga. You'll find many sculptures of apsaras and other sculptures that you see in temples. They would have a twist in the hip or the waist, that sculpture, that is called as dvibhanga. But even more beautiful the sculpture becomes, or the form becomes, when there is tribhanga, when there is another twist. I'll show you how it can be. This form of Krishna, if you see, he has one twist in the hip, in the waist, so the body twists once. Again, in the neck region, again his face becomes on the other side. So there's one twist in the waist and the second twist in the face region. So the whole body becomes into three parts: the bottom part, the torso part, and the face part, because of these two twists. And that itself gives beauty to that form. It is called tribhangam. So the tribhanga posture in dances, you will very easily you can see this. The moment it becomes a tribhanga posture, that gives a beauty, even sculptures. So he is in the tribhanga kritim, he is in the form of tribhangam. So you might wonder that the vigraham of Vittala is not tribhanga. So here the Acharya is not referring to that vigraham alone, he is referring to Krishna. He is referring to Lord Krishna. So the Krishnamsham is brought in by Acharya in the form of Vittala. The tribhanga kritim Barhamalyavatamsam. Barhamalyam is the garland of Paramala and peacock feather. He is put on his crown. So he's wearing the peacock feather on his crown and he is wearing the Vanamala. Vanamala is another strong feature of the sculptures. If you see of Narayana or Mahavishnu, you'll find Vanamala. In all the earliest sculptures also iconographically, you'll find Vanamala that is there in all of these sculptures. See this, so you find the Acharya describing the Kiritam, the face, the Kundalam, the smile, the eyes, the Pitambaram, the entire structure of the Lord, everything is described. All the beauty of the Lord is described. When you read all this, you are reminded of the shlokams of Melpattu Narayana Bhattadri Narayaniyam. In the very second chapter is a beautiful chapter that describes the beauty of the Lord. Surya Spardha Kirita Murdhvatilakam Prodbhasi Phalantaram Karunya Kulanetra Matra Asitollasam Sunasa Putam Gandodyanmakara Bhakundala Yugam Kantojjwala Kaustubham Twadrupam Vanamalya Patala Srivatsadi Prambaje Keyurangada Ganganottama Maharatanguliyangida Srimad-Bahu Chatushka Shangatagada Shankari Pankeruham Kanchit Kanchana Kanchilanchitalasat Pitambaralambanim Alambe Vimalam Bhujadyutipadam Murtim Tavartichidam. Such a Murti I am wanting to see, which has got all these aspects. Surya Spardha Kiritam, something that is competing with Surya in its luster. Same is the theme that is brought about by the Acharya. Probably Narayana Bhattadri also got inspired by the works of Acharya. Vibhum Venunadam Charantam Durantam Swayam Leelaya Gopavesham Dadhanam Gavam Vrindakanandadam Charuhasam Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. What is this Lord doing? Vibhum, he is Vibhu, he is present everywhere. Vibhu means present everywhere. Sarvavyapi, omnipresent. Venunadam Charantam, he is roaming around in Vrindavana with Venunada, playing the flute, the Murali, the Venu. So Venunada, he is roaming around. Durantam, Duhu. Duhu means evil people. Du, the prefix is added to evil people. So Antam, the one who does an Antam of all Duhu, all the evil people, Durantam, is him. So he puts an end to all the people who are evil. Swayam Leelaya Gopavesham Dadhanam. He was born as a Kshatriya in the Yadukula Vamsha. Then he came into Vrindavana as a cowherd. Even when he was born in the Karagraham, he was first born as Chaturbhuja Narayana. He was born with the Shankachakra Gada Padma. And then he made himself into a Shishu, Manusha Bala Vesham. He made himself into a human child out of his own Leela, out of his own Maya. That is how the Bhagavatam describes the birth of the Lord. He was born with the four hands, and Narayana itself, he was born as Narayana, and for the world, to finish his endeavors in the world, he became a Manusha, Bala Vesham. And then he came to Nandagopa as a cowherd, and he lived as a cowherd. So Gavam, the cows, Vrindaka, all the gopis, Anandadam, he gave bliss. Ananda, the is a suffix added for Danam, to give. So he gave Ananda, Anandadam Charuhasam, with a beautiful smile. Swayam Leelaya Gopavesham Dadhanam. Out of his own Leela, he took on the form of a cowherd, Dadhanam. Gavam Vrindakanandadam Charuhasam, in order to bless all the cattle and the gopis of Vrindavana. Because the Bhagavatam also says that all these gopis and all, they were rishis of the past who were born as gopis. So in order to bless them and to bless that land of Brajabhumi, the Vrindavana, the Lord came as Gopala. Gopa Vesham Dadhanam. He took on the form, he took on the Vesha of a Gopa, of a cowherd. Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. Ajam Rukmini Prana Sanjeevanam Tam Param Dhama Kaivalyamekam Turiyam Prasannam Prapannartiham Devadevam Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. He is Ajam. If you believe that he was born as Krishna, as the son of Nandagopa, he lived for so many years and he did his Vargarohana, you are wrong, because he's Ajam, he is an immortal. He himself says, the Bhagavad Gita, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhuta Shayastitaha, Aham Adishcha Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Antamevacha. I have neither beginning nor end. I am Ajam. I have no birth. Ja means birth. Means no, negation. So negation of birth, I don't have any birth. I am Ajam. Rukmini Prana Sanjeevanam Tam. Here the indication again comes. Why only Rukmini is mentioned? One is because the Lord is of the form of Krishna. So Rukmini. But also Radha could have been mentioned. But Rakumai is there in Pandharapura. It is Vithala Rakumai. So the Lord Acharya also indicates to that to say he is Rukmini Prana Sanjeevanam. He is the very life force of Rukmini. Prana Sanjeevanam Tam, you. Param Dhama Kaivalyam Ekam Turiyam. Your Param Dhama. That word is very important. Dhamam is place, destination. Always when you look at, even in the Vedas, when you look at Param Dhama, you will always find Parama Padam, Param Dhamam. These terms are associated with Vishnu. That is why Tad Vishnu of Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha Divi Vachakshura Tatam. Say the Vedas. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. That Vishnu's Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. The realized ones are always looking at that Padam. Diviva Chakshura Tatam, as if they are looking into empty space. So that Vishnu Padam, that destination is called as Parama Padam or Parandhamam, and that is associated with Narayana. In the Pasurams, the Alvars call it as Veed, the house, the destination. Veed, that is what is called as the ultimate destination, Paramdhama. Kaivalyam, in different philosophies it's called as Kaivalyam. It's called as liberation, the ultimate. Ekam, there is only one ultimate destination, and that is him. Turiyam, it is fourth, it is beyond the three. Turiya means fourth, beyond the three. Beyond the three what? Beyond the three states. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, beyond these three. Beyond the three gunas. So beyond everything, beyond this entire universe, which is formed of these trigunas, and us, which are formed of these three states, these three avasthas. So he is beyond the avasthatrayam. He is beyond the trigunas and he is beyond the three avasthas. So he is Turiyam, he is the fourth state. He is the fourth. So it's all indicating towards Brahman. As I said, Acharya will bring in the ultimate aspect also. Till the last shloka, he was still on the physical form of the Lord. Now he is indicating to the ultimate Brahman. Param Dhama Kaivalyam Ekam Turiyam. Realize that this Krishna or Vithala that you are seeing is not just Vithala or Krishna or Rukmini's husband or the son of Nandagopa or Gopabala and all. No. He is the ultimate Parandhamam whom you have to reach. Think from that perspective. Prasannam Prapannartiham Deva Devam. He is the Lord of the Lords. Prasannam. He is always prasanna. He is always calm and content and satisfied. Prapannartiham. All the destitute, all the people who come seek refuge in him, he gives refuge. He is a refuge for all of them. Parabrahmalingam Bhaje Pandurangam. Such a Panduranga who is the very form of Parabrahma, I worship, I prostrate. So this is the end of the Ashtakam. Always in the Stotra you will have a Falashruti. So you will have the last Shlokam as a Falashruti of the Shloka. So Ashtakam means it ends in 8. But then you will have the last Shloka which gives the Falashruti of the Ashtakam. Stavam Pandurangasya Vaipunyadam Ye Patantye Kachittena Bhaktya Cha Nityam Bhavambo Nidim Te Pitirtvanta Kale Hareralayam Shashvatam Prapnuvanti. So what is the benefit of reading this Ashtakam, Panduranga Ashtakam? Acharya says, Stavam. This is the Stavam. It's a Stuti. Pandurangasya. Whose Stavam it is? Panduranga Stavam. Vai Punyadam. I said the means giving. So now it gives what? Punya. Punyadam. It gives Punya. To whom? Ye Patanti. Those who read it. But just reading will do. I'm seeing the TV and reading it. I'm looking at something else and reading it. I'm thinking of something else and reading it. Will it be okay? No. Eka Chittena. You should focus. Concentrate on the Shlokam and read it. Just focus and concentration is not enough. Bhaktya. With devotion. You must have the devotion in you towards that Lord. When you're reading that Shlokam, the Lord must manifest in front of you. That very form of Pandurangam, that Vithala should come in front of you. And you should see that Lord, and seeing that Lord, you should keep reading the slokam. It's a nityam. Constantly keep doing this. The moment you do it like that, with bhakti and ekachittam, then what will happen? Bhavambonidim tepi tirtva antakale. Bhavambodhi, the Bhavasagaram will be crossed. The entire Sagaram of Bhava, the Samsara, Ambonidhim, the ocean. Ambonidhi means ocean. Ambu means water. Nidhi means lot of water. That is the ocean. So, Bhavambonidim Tirtva, having crossed Antakale, in your final days, Hareralayam Shashwatam Prapnuvanti, you will reach an ultimate destination. The Parandhama we saw last slokam. But what kind of a destination? See, generally, what is the theory? The concept is that you do karma, punya karma, papa karma. Based on your punya karma, papa karma, you will go into Naraka or Swarga. If you have punya karma more, you will go into all the lokas which give you punya. Papa karma, you will go into all the lokas which give the papa. You will exhaust your papa or punya, and then again you will come back to the earth. That is the concept. You will again go, exhaust your punya, you will enjoy or get tortured through papa, again come back. When your account closes, you will again come back. Again your action. Again your punya papa is decided, again after you die, this is what happens. So this is the samsara chakram. But what he's saying you will reach a destination which is shashwatam. From there is no return anymore. How that is possible? That is possible if you are doing the bhakti of Panduranga. Antakale Hareralayam, the Alayam, the destination, the temple of Hari, the temple of Narayana you will reach. See, Hareralayam can also be told as that of Shiva, of Hari or Hara. Hareralayam Shashwatam, the permanent destination you will reach. Prapnuvanti, those people will attain. The destination, that supreme state of realization will be attained through bhakti, through devotion. So this is where the Ashtakam that we saw, this is where we complete the Ashtakam. Now, Panduranga and without an Abhanga doesn't make any sense, isn't it? So I'll sing a couple of Abhangas, some 2-3 Abhangas I will sing, and then we will open it up for questions. सुंदरते ध्यान उभे विठ्ठेवरी, उभे विठ्ठेवरी. सुंदरते ध्यान उभे विठ्ठेवरी, उभे विठ्ठेवरी. करकटावरी ठेवुनिया, तुळशी हार गळा कासे पीतांबर, कासे पीतांबर. आवडे निरंतर हे चिरूप, मकर कुंडले तळपती श्रवणी, कंठी कौस्तुभमणी विराजित. सुंदरते ध्यान उभे विठ्ठेवरी, उभे विठ्ठेवरी. तुका म्हणे माझे हेची सर्व सुख, पाहिन श्रीमुख आवडीने. सुंदरते ध्यान उभे विठ्ठेवरी, उभे विठ्ठेवरी. गुणाची भेटी आलो सगुणा संगे, निर्गुणाचे भेटी आलो सगुणा संगे. तव झालो प्रसंगी, तव झालो प्रसंगी. गुणातीत निर्गुणाचे भेटी आलो सगुणा संगे. मज रूप नाही नाव सांगू काय, मज रूप नाही नाव सांगू काय, झाला बाई काय, झाला बाई काय, बोलू नये निर्गुणाचे भेटी आलो सगुणा संगे. म्हणे गोरा कुंभार, गोरा कुंभार म्हणे, म्हणे गोरा कुंभार नाम्या तुझी भेटी, म्हणे गोरा कुंभार नाम्या तुझी भेटी, सुखा सुखी मिठी, सुखा सुखी मिठी पडली कैसी, निर्गुणाचे भेटी आलो सगुणा संगे, निर्गुणाचे भेटी आलो सगुणा संगे, निर्गुणाचे भेटी आलो सगुणा संगे.
Sai Ram. Thank you so much, brother, for this beautiful abhang. So, can we go forward for the questions?
Yes, sure.
Okay. There's this question like, there is always a reason for an avatar. Okay. For example, like Rama actually took birth to kill Ravana, Krishna came down to kill Kamsa. So, is there any such kind of purpose or like on lines for Panduranga avatar?
We saw that in the very first or second shloka. Varam Pundarikaya datum munindraihi. To bless Pundarika. The Lord came to bless Pundarika. So this is an avatara to bless the devotees. So the other avatars might be there where they also had Dushta Nigraham as one of their objectives. But here it is sheer Anugraham. Just come to bless the devotees. That is the greatness of the avatar of Panduranga.
So the next question is actually interrelated with the same question. It is with respect to the name Panduranga. Is it any? How is it referring to Pandharpura, and has it got any reference to Pundalika? The name Panduranga.
Yeah. So not to Pundarika, but we saw that Pandarage was the name of the place.
Okay.
This place was known as Pandharage. So the Panduranga, the name comes as a lord of Pandarage, comes as Panduranga, and we saw the Panduraranga, that also comes as Panduranga. Pandaranga Palli, this was also known as Pandaranga Palli in earlier times. That is also why this came to be known as Panduranga. So these are the different historical, etymological ways in which Panduranga is derived, but it has got not to do with Pundarika. Pundarika is different. That name doesn't have anything to do with Panduranga.
So, like, can you help us understand the importance of Ashadhi Ekadashi in Pandharpur?
Yeah. Ashadhi Ekadashi and Kartiki Ekadashi. So the Varakari Sampradaya. So Panduranga means Varakari Sampradaya. Varakari Sampradaya means is Varikari. Vari means pilgrimage, Tirtha Yatra. Jo Vari Kari to Varakari. The one who does pilgrimage to Pandharpura is Varakari. So these are all people who come from different places. They walk all the way to Pandharpura. And in later times, because of the greatness of Jnaneshwar Maharaj and Tukaram Maharaj, they also go to Dehu and Alandi. Alandi, where you have the Samadhi of Jnaneshwar Maharaj, and Dehu, where you have Samadhi of Tukaram Maharaj. And there is the palanquin, the palki of both of them go from Dehu and Alandi to Pandharpura. And people, you can also see in the TV, the previous years and all, even from Mumbai and all, they walk barefoot. They just walk all the way to Pandharpura. So this is Varakari. This Varakari Sampradaya, for them, Ashadhi and Kartiki. Ashadhi, that Ashadha Ekadashi is the time when the Lord goes to sleep. The Mahavishnu, he goes into Yoga Nidra during the Ashadha Ekadashi. And during the Kartiki Ekadashi, which is after the Chaturmasyam. So after the Ashadha Ekadashi, the Chaturmasyam begins, the 4 months of the rainy season, right? And during Chaturmasyam, as per our Shastras, you are not supposed to travel anywhere. Especially you will see this with sannyasis, they will not travel anywhere. Wherever they are, they will stay there and do puja, vrata, and everything will happen in Chaturmasyam. Because it was a rainy season, the monsoons. So during the monsoons, all the animals from within the ground, they will all come up because water having filled all their holes, the snakes and many other kinds of animals will come up. So the land will be full of these animals. So first of all, the risk of traveling, and second, you also might harm the animals during travel. So for all these reasons, travel was prohibited during the rainy season. And that time, because of the, in a way, it is not, I can't call it fury of nature. It is definitely a time when you're getting rains, you're getting life, but also it could become disastrous. It could become riskier. So all vratas and everything are during this period where you just keep praying to the Lord. There are different vratas that happen. You keep praying to the Lord to ensure that everybody should live happily. So all vratas and everything will come during this period. So this Chaturmasyam comes between the Ashadi and Kartiki Ekadashi. So Ashadha Ekadashi is said to be when the Lord goes to sleep, and Kartiki Ekadashi when he is getting back. So Utthana Ekadashi is Kartiki Ekadashi, and Shayana Ekadashi is Ashadi when he goes to sleep. So the Varakari, they will go to Ashadha Ekadashi to sleep, to put the Lord to sleep. They don't want anything from the Lord. See the greatness of the Varakaris. They are not going there to ask the Lord, give me wealth or give me this or that. No, they are undertaking this pilgrimage to put the Lord to sleep. And then very religiously, they will go into Kartiki Ekadashi and wake up the Lord and come back so that he can take care of the rest of the world. That is the duty of the Varakaris. And that is the significance of the Ashadi and the Kartiki Ekadashis, especially with respect to Panduranga.
Beautiful. So, what is the significance of these 2 fishes on the shoulders of Panduranga?
They are Makara Kundala. Makaram, there are 2 interpretations. Makaram can be treated to be a fish, or it can be treated to be a crocodile. So this is one of the, I would say, the iconographical features of Narayana or Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu's iconographical features among the different things like we spoke about, Kaustubha, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, the Vanamala, the Pitambara. Similarly, Makara Kundala, having the fish as a Kundala, is one distinguishing feature, I would say, of Mahavishnu, and that is why it is also kept for Panduranga, indicating that he is an Amsha of Mahavishnu or Narayana.
So one of the distinct feature of Panduranga, when we say Panduranga, the first thing which actually flashes is the way the tilak is put, Chandan, on the forehead. So any reason why is it different than the other avatars of Lord Vishnu?
See, this I personally don't know why it is different, but actually, if you see different Vishnu images, the tilaka will be very different in each Vishnu image. So the basic thing is Kasturi Tilakam. Kasturi Tilakam Lalata Palake Vakshastale Kaustubam. This is the description of Narayana or Vishnu. So Kasturi Tilakam is what is the Tilakam, that is for Mahavishnu. Now, how that is put in different Vigrahams or different ideals is very different. Like for example, if you go to Tirupati Venkateshwara, why the Karpuram is placed there has got a different story to it, to reduce the intensity of the power of the eyes of the Lord. So that is a different story. So each of them has probably a different story, but I'm not very sure of what is the reason of the specific tilakam of Panduranga.
Okay. So we move on to our next question. That is, stotras are for those who are just beginning their spiritual journey. If so, then wouldn't they get connected to this Saguna form without understanding the vision?
Without understanding the
Vision.
Vision.
Yeah.
I don't think I got the question, but Stotra is primarily to get connected with the Saguna form only. See, in spiritual journey, if I tell you to meditate, okay, close your eyes and meditate on Nirguna. Nirguna means what? Emptiness. You have to just close your eyes and meditate on emptiness. Nothing. Just empty space. Will you be able to do that? No. You might stay for a moment and then you again start thinking of different things. The thoughts will start coming. So thoughts is a natural process because we are used to thinking. We are used to, that is a habitual process. We are used to thinking. So from that used to thinking, how to bring yourself to Nirguna? Not very easy. You cannot immediately say one fine day that you start thinking Nirguna. So what the Vedas prescribed first is Saguna. Bring your thoughts to one object. Start thinking only of that object. How should that object be? That object should be something that attracts you, so that naturally your thought will go there. Okay, so you automatically start thinking about that object. That is Saguna worship. That is Saguna Bhakti. So you take a form of the Lord, an Ishta Devata. That is why the concept of Ishta Devata is very important in our Sanatana Dharma. Even the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali prescribes having Ishta Devata. So having the Ishta Devata only will bring focus and concentration of your thoughts. Your thoughts will start getting focused on that area. They will not go here and there. You will have something to hold on, an anchor. Very important. So once that anchor starts becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, that is what we see in the lives of all the santas. Constantly thinking about Vitthala, Vitthala, they see Vitthala everywhere. So now what has happened? Even if you see something, Vitthala appears in that. So the Saguna Bhakti goes to a level where the Upanishad, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma happens, but in the form of Vitthala. Sarvam Khalu Idam Vitthala. You see Vitthala everywhere. Then the final stage is when Vitthala himself disappears and what you see is Brahman. The Vitthala disappears and there you see emptiness. That you see, that Nirgunam, that supreme self you see there. That final state is what the Lord will help you do from the Saguna to the Nirguna. But your duty is to remain fixed on Saguna continuously. And that is why Saguna form is very important. And for aiding that Saguna form is what you have the Stotras as one of the initial aids or tools.
So is Panduranga a Swayambhu or?
We could say Panduranga is a Swayambhu because we don't have any historical details or any details of somebody making that Vigraham. But there are some indications or some informations that Vittala Deva was one of the Maharajas or one of the kings in the pre-Vijayanagara or during that period. So he, Vittala Deva or Vitta Deva, he was the one who consecrated the idol of Vitthala, and that is why the idol became called Vitthala. That is another etymology or another reason why the Lord was called Vitthala according to some sources. So Vittala Deva, it is said to have consecrated. So if that is the case, then it becomes Manusham. But since that is one of the theories, but the most popular theory is the Lord himself came and stood there. So the Lord himself comes, it is Swayam Vyakta Vigraham. It is Swayambhu, just like in Tirupati, Venkateshwara just manifests himself. So it's a manifestation. So it is a Swayam Vyakta Vigraham, a Swayambhu Vigraham.
The next question is, does non-dual state is higher than spiritual planets like Goloka, Vaikuntha or Kailasa?
Okay. Now, just to describe, just to explain or clarify these lokas. See, loka, the term itself, that's why I said everything in Sanskrita is very simple because it's all embedded in the word itself. Loka comes from the dhatu look. In English, what do you mean by look? To see. So loka comes from the dhatu look, and this dhatu look also in Sanskrita means to see. Alokyate iti lokaha. Something that you see is loka. Anything that you see is loka. In your dreams, if you see something, that is also a loka. In some other vision, some delusion, you see something, that is also a loka. So everything is a loka. Whatever you see is a loka. So when you say Goloka, Brahma Loka, Vishnu Loka, means you are seeing Vishnu there. You are seeing Shiva there. You are seeing Brahma there. It is still a vision. That vision is in different states of the mind. In different states of spiritual advancement, you will see these things. Like the siddhis and other yogic practices in different stages. You will see all this. So these are all visions. But the ultimate is when yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha, where the mind cannot reach. There is no vision. Where the vision disappears, there is no more vision. You are not seeing things in front of you through the eyes, but you are experiencing that fullness. That is the ultimate state. So anything that deals with vision, whether you call it Vaikuntha or Kailasa or any other loka, all lokas are still in the range of, you're still in the spiritual ladder only. You have not reached the destination. The moment you reach the destination, there is no more vision. There is no more loka because you are everything. There is no more differentiation you will see. So the visions will disappear the moment ultimate is reached.
One of our viewers has asked if you can explain the word Sundar.
Yeah, so as I explained yesterday, Sundara comprises of three aspects, three dhatus. Su is a prefix which you add to something, anything that is good. Sudinam, so Su means something that is good, a good day. So good. So Su, Suprabhatam and all. So Su, Un is Unnayati, something that uplifts, something that takes us, Uddharati. It takes us up, it elevates us. It doesn't keep us in the lower frames of mind, it elevates our mind. Unnayati. Ardrayati. It just doesn't see anything that something could be there and you just get excited, something you're in awe of something. But it doesn't stop there and just becoming awe. It is creating an awe. After that, it creates something in you that translates into compassion. Seeing something, you automatically start crying. Seeing something, automatically tears start coming out of your eyes. You automatically feel some kind of a compassion, something happening inside you towards that. Ardrayati, it makes you soft. It makes you, something attracts you towards that. That is Sundara. So Sundara is something that is auspicious, something that elevates your mind, and something that converts you into a compassionate person, into something merciful, into something inside you that attracts you towards it. That is Sundara.
We move to our next question. This is Acharyaji preached Advaita philosophy, so how does he attach importance to Rupa?
See, Acharya preached Advaita philosophy, no doubt. That is what I said in the beginning also. Advaita is the ultimate. As I said, the ultimate stage is when you don't see any difference between me and the rest of the things around me. Everything appears to be the same life force. There is the same life pulsating everywhere. When I reach that stage, that is the highest stage, because I cannot get beyond that. The moment I've seen oneness everywhere, what more is there to achieve? So that is Advaita. But Acharya also realized during his Digvijaya travels that this Advaita it is rarest of the rare. Even in the Viveka Chudamani, he says it is Durlabham. Some in crores and crores of person, maybe one person becomes eligible towards this. So no doubt the ideal has to be there. If the ideal also is removed, then nobody will, in another few generations, people will forget that there can be something called as Advaita. So Advaita has to be maintained. But at the same time, for the common people who are nowhere close to that, it cannot work. So the Acharya then started composing these stotras and rupams because they are a necessary tool. Without Saguna Bhakti, you cannot attain Nirguna Bhakti, or you cannot attain Advaitam. That is a clear statement. And this even Acharya realized. That is why he composed so many stotras. Otherwise, there is no need for Acharya to do so many stotras and compose these different verses on the Lord, on different deities. The only reason was to take the people on Saguna Bhakti, on Rupam, on Rupa Dhyanam, and then slowly take them towards the ultimate. So Rupa, there is no conflict. They are only different stages of your spiritual development.
Sai Ram, thank you so much. I really take this as Bhagwan's blessings, which has been showered onto me. Like, to thank our viewers, yes, Satyasai organization, and also the Kalyan Samiti for providing us with the digital platform. And yes, Brother Ramkumar, that is Subramanian Chidambaran, to give us such a beautiful, blissful session on Panduranga Ashtagam. I'm sure like everybody enjoyed this session. The questions are going on coming in, but yes, we have the time limitations. So we will try to answer the questions onto the WhatsApp groups. And we have some more programs which we are coming up, which we'll be announcing in the WhatsApp groups also. And yes, we ask for the closing prayers for the day. Sai Ram.
Om Tat Sat Shri Narayana Tu Purushottama Gurudu Siddha Buddha Tu Skanda Vinayaka Savita Pavakadu Savita Pavakadu तू यहोशक्ति तू यीशु पिता प्रभु तू रुद्र विष्णु तू राम कृष्ण तू रहीमताओ तू रहीमताओ तू वासुदेव गोविश्वरूप तू चिदानंद हरि तू अद्वितीय तू अकाल निर्भय आत्मलिंग शिव तू आत्मलिंग शिव तू आत्मलिंग शिव तू
येई हो विठ्ठले माझे माऊलिये माझे माऊलिये निढळावरी कर ठेवणी वाट मी पाहे आलिया गेलिया हाती धाडी निरोप पंढरपुरी आहे माझा माय बाप पिवळा पितांबर कैसा गगनी झळकला गरुडावरी बैसून माझा कैवारी आला विठोबाचे राज्य आम्हा नित्य दीपवाळी विष्णुदास नामा जीवे भावे ओवाळी
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति शांति जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
Sai Ram, we request everybody to please wait with us for Sai Gayatri Mantra, that is from 9 to 9:15. Sai Ram. This mantra is chanted for the world peace and world health. Sai Ram.
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि